guys, so we're getting into week 2 quarterback plays. I'm gonna name off the top 10 that ESPN has right here, and then from there we'll talk about it. We'll go about it each individual. I'll put my little intake. I won't get too much into the fantasy play. I'll get more into the pick'ems and props and stuff like that. But the first 10 is 1, Josh Allen versus the Raiders, Patrick Mahomes versus the Jags, Lamar Jackson versus the Bengals, Jalen Hurts against Minnesota right now, Joe Burrow against Baltimore, Justin Fields against Tampa Bay, Justin Herbert against Tennessee, Trevor Lawrence against KC, Tua versus New England, and then lastly Anthony Richardson versus Houston. That is the top 10 right now. We have technical difficulties. We will probably edit this out. If not, well, there you go. You get to see Cruz's
raw behind the scenes.
Look at
Cruz right here.
And if you can notice, what we have taped up to the wall is our actual draft from this year. I'm Scooter. I drafted number 2. Cruz.
TDs and sacks, which
what team number is that up there?
4.
Number 4. Yeah.
And
I'm 7.
And Mikey here is number 7. So this is our draft right here, so you could see how we do what we do.
We'll try to zoom in on it, but it's a little bit
just to let you guys know, week 1, your boy over here. Let's see, what was my score from week 1?
Hold up. It was a very close game until Dallas played. Until Dallas.
When your defense gets you 47 points.
It was very close until it wasn't. Your boy right here, shout out to this league, Red Stripe 3.0, scored 189.9 points. I'm not tooting my horn, guys. I'm just letting you know. Okay. Then in the other league, what did we score? We scored.
These are Yahoo leagues too, so these are Yahoo points.
Yeah.
PPR, 198.
Yeah.
So I had dyslexia. 189 and 198.
Wait, that was me, right? That one was me.
Yeah. 198. Mikey's 125. Scooter 134. So.
But in my ESPN league, I scored 134 in a 12-man league.
So you guys can understand, just so you guys get the raw numbers of what we're doing. We're not joking. This is what we do. We play these leagues. This is what
these guys are like the A+. I'm like the B minus. All right.
If you pay attention to Yahoo grades, I got my first A+ this year.
Yeah, but those don't matter. Anyways,
we're gonna get into it. We got Scoochie here. We have Cruzy here. We're gonna scooch on over to Scoochie though, and we're gonna let Scoochie talk about his 2 sleepers and outside the top 10, his 1 super sleeper out of all the quarterbacks, and then his 1 quarterback inside the top 10.
I'm just gonna go recap real quick about what we said last week for week 1, when we give our rundown of who our top 3 quarterbacks were out of the top 10 and who our super sleeper was. Me and my cousin both here had a Derek Carr as our super sleeper, who is, I believe, ranked the number 19th or 22nd quarterback.
By the way, I put a prop on
last week, and when the fantasy points came out at the end of the week, he was rated number 4 for quarterbacks in fantasy points, and the 3 that were in front of him were all top 10 quarterbacks. So we happened to choose as our super sleeper the first sleeper quarterback out of the top 10 to be inside the top 10. So I want to just pat ourselves on the back for getting one right week 1. You know, it's not going to happen all the time, but even a broken clock is right twice a day. So
even our fantasy football draft board agrees with this guy. So you can hardly contain its enthusiasm. Forgive it for a second.
But we're gonna let him pick his top 2 sleepers outside top 10, and then his super sleeper outside the top 10.
My first sleeper outside the top 10 this week is going to be number 22, who's Jordan Love at Atlanta. I think Jordan Love put a lot of people on recognition last week. He impressed me. I don't know if he impressed you guys. He looked like he could handle the job down in Green Bay, and I don't know if the Packers are going to be missing him anytime real soon. I know the Jets are going to be missing him a lot more than the Packers are. But My number one sleeper this week outside the top 10 is at number 17, and that quarterback is Dak Prescott. We didn't get to see too much of what he could do last week because his defense managed the whole game for him, but I imagine this week is going to be a lot different, and I imagine at home he's going to want to put up some points and show what he could really do and how hopefully he can take him to the promised land like they're really hoping. Let's be real about it. That's what they're hoping. It's Super Bowl or bust. I don't care what anybody says. If you're not Super Bowl or bust with a team like that, then you shouldn't be in the conversation.
Who's your super sleeper?
My super sleeper is at number 13, and I'm gonna jump on this train right now before everybody and their mama does. But Brock Purdy is gonna be a top 10 fantasy quarterback by the end of this year, guys. Okay? The eyeball test shows it. The win-loss ratio shows it. The confidence that he has shows it. His team support shows it. I think Brock Purdy is gonna be a special surprise.
We're just gonna let that.
Yeah. And so if he's a free agent, on honor you guys that don't have a backup quarterback, I would suggest going to your waiver wire and picking up Brock Purdy while it doesn't cost you a waiver wire pick to have a top 10 fantasy quarterback on your team. Now inside my top 10, again, I'm gonna have to go with my boy crush. Playing against Kansas City at home. This might be a 500-yard game. I said it last week, but I'm going with my boy Trevor Lawrence. I love him, my boy crush. So TL, that's my pick inside the top 10.
By the way, Scooter has 3 boy crushes on the Jaguars. We said we made fun of this last week. Obviously, you guys couldn't get to hear that because the audio went out, but his 3 is Trevor Lawrence, Calvin Ridley, and Evan Ingram. We're gonna get him all on a shirt and make sure he wears it one of these weeks.
I think you look extra handsome.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, throwing that out.
But how did Calvin Ridley do last week? Too?
It's true. And by the way, he didn't start Calvin Ridley on one of his teams. That's how genius.
It was my fault. It was my fault. It was my fault.
No, I take the blame.
I think it's 50-50.
I'm manager, but the assistant manager said to start T. Higgins, you got 0.
But just saying. Just saying.
He's driving the bus. I'm just the driver.
By the way, when they pick separately. Like we
have no idea. We don't talk about
this
ahead of time. We pick our own guys because we want 3 different opinions in here, and you choose the best.
And I say that because some answers maybe
they may overlap.
They might overlap.
They may overlap slightly.
But we want people to know this is straight ambiguity. We have our own picks. We have our own ideas. We think a lot alike. So I actually hope every now and then we do have a couple of the same opinions. But for the most part, these are all our own separate ideas and separate thoughts of who's going to do what each week.
And I'm just going to say this real quick. I'm just going to put a super sleeper out there into this crazy world, but on ESPN, Derek Carr is ranked 23rd this week, and he's playing a Carolina team who has a rookie quarterback and does not know what the fuck to do out there.
He's seeing ghosts.
I truly believe Michael Thomas is gonna have 100.
This is why we started this channel, because how the heck is Derek Carr?
He's gonna have 100 this week.
We can't walk back. We can't walk back comments, so let's call him a super sleeper.
I'm sorry, Brock Purdy's right.
That's okay. Watch.
Check
this out.
Yeah, he's still 16.
So check this out. So, for my number 1 sleeper, and keep in mind we didn't discuss this. Ranked 16 on Yahoo, 17 on ESPN is Dak Prescott. How in the hell is Dak Prescott ranked 17 behind? And I know you like Daniel Jones.
How about Geno
at
Smith,
Arizona?
Deshaun Watson, like
Jared
Justin Fields at Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay did.
Look, so Dak Prescott has a legitimate team around him, guys. If we have a defense that's forcing 3 and outs every other series, there's not a lot that you have to do from an offensive perspective. But with the West Coast offense and the way that Dak looked so comfortable in the pocket last week, I feel like he's definitely one that I'm going to go with. Especially, he's going to probably be a little cheaper on some of the the websites.
Like I said, how much does he have to do when your defense puts up 40 points?
Yeah, exactly. So, my second outside the top 10 quarterback is actually Brock Purdy. Okay, guys, we had no idea. Okay,
That's why I said it,
Um,
because it happens, but this is the first time it actually
it
happened.
happened. Yeah. So Brock Purdy's going up against a Rams team that couldn't stop anybody. Like, they had a solid defensive game, right? You had
Well, they beat
Aaron Donald.
they beat
Wait,
Seattle,
Yeah.
but
Can-
also
yeah.
both
Wait,
the
wait,
tackles
wait,
got
wait.
injured.
They
in the
got
game.
injured. So I mean,
can we say that the Rams defense looked good, or Geno Smith just looked fucking trash?
I think a little combination
Yeah.
of both. I think they actually
Yeah.
showed up pretty well. But I really feel like Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers are not even close to being the same as the Seattle Seahawks.
No, not at
You
all.
have a defense that can take the offensive equation out of the game, and you have a guy in Brock Purdy who I think. What is he? He's won like
He's
9 in a row as a
9-1.
start. Yeah.
Every game he has started and finished, he has
He's
won.
So I mean, winners win. Isn't that the saying?
Fair
So, my super sleeper is Jordan Love, right? Like I don't get it, bro. Like it's like you were in here, okay?
Man.
Jordan Love is playing in Atlanta.
But or
I hope not, dude. At least part of me can die a virgin. I feel like Atlanta is trash on the defensive side. I mean, I'm not throwing that out there as like a lightweight, like I'm throwing shots at Atlanta. I'm just saying, from a fantasy standpoint, I don't think they're that good.
And may
And
I
it's in
tell-
a dome.
And
It's
may,
in a dome.
and may I tell you, Desmond Ritter is trash.
It's not. He's adjusting. We're gonna see some things out of him. But ultimately, I think like this: Jordan Love proved that he can be a legitimate quarterback in this
Yeah.
league. And I didn't know how well we were gonna see that debut happen. But it goes to show you what happens when you have a maturation of a young player who sits behind a goat
3 years.
and really gets the ability to take his time and understand the game. So when you do that, aka Indianapolis and all these other places, you keep players from getting hurt, and they really get the football IQ. Because guys, these playbooks are thicker than the Bible. And my very top 10, my top 10 quarterback of the week, guys. How are we even talking about this? This is Tua Tagovailoa. Okay, the 478,000 yards by the end of the season. He's on pace for. He's gonna throw for 900 TD. But in all honesty, Tua Tagovailoa, until he gets injured or shits the bed, I'm not betting against him.
I'm a Dolphin fan and a homer, so I gotta hear other people say it.
By,
so
by the way, guys,
I do like it.
By the way, guys, obviously I'm a Raider fan. In the first podcast, we showed all our colors, but I'm a Raider fan, Dolphin fan, Cowboy fan, and all our teams won week 1. Listen, before we get into this, the Raiders are in first place, and it'll be the only team they're in first place. So I'm gonna enjoy this, baby.
Super Bowl bound. Okay,
Only
preseason.
undefeated team in the division.
In the division. What's
4-0 in the preseason. So there's only 3 games. You guys get the joke. Tua, until he messes up or he does something that I can honestly, legitimately say that was his fault, I don't see me even taking him out, guys. You better start him every week. That's not even a question.
with that wide receiver rotation, until one of them get injured as well,
Listen.
it's hard.
Tyreek Hill is faster than Usain Bolt. That's what he said.
a reporter asked him.
Okay.
A reporter asked him.
Hopefully.
Do you still? What do you say about the people who say you can't throw? He's like, I don't care. I had 446 yards.
Argue with that.
What do I say?
Did I kick the ball to him? Right? Yeah.
So that's our picks for quarterbacks for the week. I hope you like our super sleepers inside and outside of the top 10.
Yes,
and hopefully you actually take our advice this week and play one of them and hopefully make some money.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. We're gonna wrap this video up. Much love. Like, subscribe, hit the bell right next to get all my videos on time. Comment down, what is your top quarterback? What is your sleeper quarterback? We want to hear from you guys as well. Maybe you guys can help us out. You guys are no deal. It's grind time, baby. We got Scoochie and we got Cruzy.
Please send us questions.